you found your childhood crush that you've been looking for online for 9 years. What does that
Yes.
mean?
Okay. When I tell you I'm a D1 stalker, like I'm actually a D1 stalker. So I went through every social media platform you could possibly go through.
Hello.
What's up, man? What's your name?
My name's Wyatt.
Wyatt. How's life, Wyatt?
Yes, sir. It's okay. New year. New year, just kind of going off on that.
Do you have like a New Year's resolution of some kind?
I was talking about my girlfriend about that, and like, I don't know. I'm 25 years old, so I've had 25, I guess 26 whole New Years, and I've never really thought of like an actual New Year's resolution. I don't know if that's sad or good. I just kind of keep going.
I don't think that that's either sad or good. I think, well, yeah, it means you're just living life. You're not trying to
Yeah, I
solve
definitely
it.
like to reflect on my past year, like how the year, like my past year is gone. But I never really like, oh, I'm gonna start this coming year. I'm gonna change this, or I'm gonna start doing that.
Okay, you're just like, okay, that happened, and then
Yeah.
let's continue on to into the present where more stuff will happen. That's your
Mhm.
take. Yeah. Okay. You're
Yeah.
not you're not like I'm going to reevaluate and change and do this other thing.
I guess it's not a bad thing to do, but I really no, not really.
That's okay. I don't think you need to do that necessarily. The funny thing is actually sometimes you can do that and then
Yeah.
ultimately change nothing, and then you wasted a bunch of time doing that when you could have just been like living life in the moment. So,
No. Yeah.
so living life in the moment almost risks nothing. There's things you
Yeah.
might not. There's things about the other method that you might gain or lose. But if you want to
Mhm.
risk nothing, right? Like if you want to take no risks and you just want to exist, I think that's the way to do it. Is just be in the
Yeah.
present.
Well, what about you, Mr. Geck? You got any New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolution is to ask you, Wyatt,
Okay.
about what it is that you texted me.
I mean, we could this past year's been crazy, dude. I think that's one thing that's been on my mind here recently, but I got a whole lot.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. So you texted me initially and you said, I'm afraid I am becoming more like my father.
Yeah. So I guess
Now,
I can give you a little
yeah, so tell me,
background.
yeah, please, sure.
Hold on, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah. So, long story short, my dad's he's a recovering alcoholic, and he went through some stuff. Got divorced from his second marriage, lost custody of my half brother. It's been in rehab, in and out of rehab. Was really rough until here this past year. He actually got really good, man. Like it was super good. He was doing good. Didn't really drink much, and then kind of started hitting the gym, all this stuff. And then here recently, he's off of like probation, and then me and my sister kind of think he might have relapsed, but he's kind of doing it secretly. And I'm over here like judging my dad almost, and I feel bad about it because I do. I'm like, oh, my dad shouldn't be drinking, blah blah blah. But as I'm doing that, I'll be sitting at the bar, pissed drunk, and I'm like, damn, am I like, do I have a drinking problem?
Ooh.
Which, granted, my dad kind of like, without getting into, he didn't do anything like terrible. Like he never, nothing horrible, but just has been an iffy father to, I still love him, but I'm over here sitting here, I've got a serious relationship going on. If I want to pursue a family and like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like this happens with a lot of people when like, it's interesting. I mean, at least in my experience, like, yeah, I've become exactly like my dad, and
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny because I look at my dad, and I think about there's a lot of I mean, as this is true about all human beings, of course, but I look at my dad, and there's a lot of like negative aspects. I think he has to his like life, and I'm absolutely positively inheriting those. And then I look at my dad, and I'm like, my dad's the best. You know, I look at him, and he has.
I do want to.
Well, he has all these like very positive aspects of his personality and of his life that I really admire and respect and love, and I see themselves in me too. So I'm like, I feel like I'm a carbon copy of my dad in all of the best and worst ways.
Yeah. No, that's I kind of feel the same, because I mean, like, I love my dad to death, and like, I think deep down he is an amazing father. You know, he has his issues, obviously. You know, it's whether it's his fault or not, but like, I see the good in him, and I'm like, I hope to inherit those good parts about my father. You know, the things I love about him. But then I see myself sometimes. I'll see my stuff like inheriting some maybe his bad habits, and I'm like, oh crap, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to not become like your parents. So
no, for sure.
Okay, so you're sitting at the bar, and you're like, all right, I'm at a crucial tipping point. You know, I have I'm sorry, I know you said you have a wife, girlfriend?
A girlfriend, yes sir, girlfriend.
Okay, and you want to have a family?
So we're just moved in together.
Okay, and so you're like, I want to have a family. I want to do this whole thing. And are you like afraid of how drinking is going to affect that?
I mean, sort of, yeah, because like I said, like we go out sometimes, we'll drink, but then we'll be like I guess this is what every alcoholic says, but I don't think I'm an alcoholic, because, you know, I work 9 to 5, you know, I don't drink during the week really, you know. On the weekends though, you know, I like to have a drink, but it's like whenever I do drink, it's like I like to have fun. But then I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna take stuff serious, you know, because I mean, we've already been talking about, you know, the future and stuff, and you know, like if I am gonna take that serious, you know, it's something I'm gonna have to at least keep in mind, you know, how I do, I guess.
Yeah. When you let's do this. When you were a boy, do you remember ways in which your dad drinking negatively affected you or his relationship with your mom?
Yeah, for sure. There was again, nothing bad or crazy happened, but I mean, yeah, definitely. There's definitely some times I can look back on and be like, maybe he shouldn't have been. Maybe that wasn't the situation to be very drunk at. Like, for instance, like he was like on the couch watching football, and then like have a few beers, but then a few beers would turn him to be.
He's
like,
not,
you know.
He's not. Is like, okay, was he like? Let's not say plastered, but was he like putting a few down at like the your school play or soccer games or shit like that?
That is the perfect way. Yes, that is the perfect way to explain
He's not like that fucking South Park episode where Randy is fighting everyone and getting. He's not like that, but he's having a beer at these places where you're like, should he really be having a beer right now? Kind of a thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get what you mean.
It's definitely gotten worse over the years, because like I'm 25, so I've been done and moved out, but I've got a little brother who, that's where I see it the worst in, I guess, is because I'm like, man, like he was in my, or I was in his shoes, and I'm kind of grateful he doesn't get the full scope of it right now, because, you know, he's young and he doesn't know.
What's the deal with your little brother? Do you see him acting like your father in some way?
Oh, my dad and my brother are almost the exact same person. Besides, you know, he's 13, but oh no, yeah, they're the exact same person.
Interesting. Do you feel like
I'm definitely more like my mom though?
Do you feel like you're like your dad in any ways other than the drinking?
Repeat that.
In any ways other than just like drinking a lot, how do you feel like you're like your dad?
Definitely. My dad is like super bad. Like he has really bad OCD, and like in a weird way, like I'm kind of messy and like sloppy, but like in a weird way, I kind of have the same thing, because like whenever my dad like hyper focuses on something, like he will not finish or stop or pause until he finishes or does whatever he's doing, and I'm kind of the same way. If I get super hyper focused on something to a point where it's like I just tunnel vision, you know. No, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the big things. I definitely have some of his like mannerisms. Like he's
So
a very. Sorry, go ahead.
I know you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that like some of his mannerisms I definitely have. Like he's very like he'll talk to anybody. Like he's easy to make or good at making friends. And I feel like I'm the same way. I can talk to anybody and just make a friend. Which is like I said, some of the good things that I like.
Yeah. Dude, it's interesting. I like this subject because I think about it a lot in my own life.
Yeah.
Not to like whatever. I guess just like I'm in the process of pondering this with you. Because sometimes I'm like, and I don't know if this is inherent. I don't know if this is healthy, but sometimes I look at like like I was saying earlier, like I look at my dad and I'm like, I'm a carbon copy of him. And I think I have all of his best qualities and all of his worst ones too. And I think about that. And sometimes when I'm like embodying the qualities where I'm like, shit, I think I know where this came from. There's a little part of me that like, uses that to like fucking like accept it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
So
sure.
there's a little part of me that uses that to like accept it and maybe in some cases excuse it. And I know, I do that. Yeah, I think we both do that shit. And I accept it and excuse it. But then I'm also like, oh fuck, but I gotta fucking, I can't. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I can ponder this with you, but I would be lying if I said I had the answer, and I'd be a hypocrite if I told you that you gotta fight back. You know what I mean? You probably should. Sure. You probably should. Again, I feel the same way where I'm like, I'll do something and I'm like, fuck, this is me. This is the part that I inherited from like, I totally see how I came to exist by looking at my parents. And you can use it. Again, you can use it as like an excuse, but I'm a part of me wants to believe in free will.
But exactly. But then genetics definitely takes a huge part.
But I don't know, bro. We gotta try. You know what I mean? Especially if you.
Sure.
But also, also, you know what? Okay, I'll tell you this, and this is another thing a little bit that is like my experience with this is and this is more like addiction stuff than it is like genetic family shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like quitting doing something is like 1,000 times easier if you have a reason, right? Like I've had things I was addicted to where it's like I don't have a good reason to stop doing this. Like I don't have a good reason to stop doing this, or I don't have something else in front of me that's so all encompassing that it forces me to be present with it, so I'm not doing the thing. But you have a thing, and maybe this is the North Star of like, okay, well, I care a lot about investing in my relationship with my wife, and I care a lot about having a kid and giving my kid a good childhood. So at least you have that because if you were just like a single 25-year-old guy with like some random job and you're just like a guy, then it's like yeah, of course I'm gonna get drunk all the time.
No, yeah, exactly.
But you have like a higher thing to serve now, so I guess that's at least that's something.
It definitely is what makes me think about it, I guess. And then another thing, just you're talking about addiction, which that is another thing that's like really bad on my dad's side of the family. From him to his mother, and like they're all like have some type of, whether not necessarily drugs or booze, but like some type of thing. And it's addiction it's super super genetic, at least from what I understand. And like I've definitely like when I was in high school and college, I was vaping and doing the Zins, and which I haven't, I don't do that stuff anymore. But holy crap, dude, was that shit hard to quit. And then another part of me was like, is it hard because it's hard, or is it because of my back to my dad, I guess my lineage, my genetics? Is it a genetic thing?
Yeah, it definitely is. But again, I guess if we're trying to overcome that shit, I guess it is helpful to know where it comes from. I feel like it's helped me. It's helped me at least, and I'm not like I mean, this is true with like everything on this podcast. Like, I don't want to speak as like some kind of like a authority in getting over stuff, but just like in the terms of like feeling it, just like in the terms of like feeling it, I'm like, yeah, I've felt like, oh, it's good to have the information as to how I got here. And that helps me, and that helps me shame myself less. Like I feel a lot less like it does. Like it helps me like feel a lot less shame because it puts me in a position where I'm like, okay, I at least kind of understand how I arrived here, and it's through something that I can kind of logically explain, not just because I'm like some grand piece of shit. And I mean, and, you know, and you can kind of say that about anyone. But it's like, okay, now I can't keep using that. I gotta figure out how to fucking
yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, deal with it.
But I think it also helps, you know, with you saying that. I mean, it kind of helps, like if you have kids, or you want, your future, whatever, like. I guess it kind of helps with them too to know where it came from.
Yeah.
So, well, my kid's not just a piece of shit. He has, it's, you know what I mean? I guess it's a terrible way to say it, but
no, when your kid's 14 and he starts sneaking Mike's Hard Lemonades out of the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Fridge.
And I'm like,
yeah. I think maybe what I was going to say is I think that the understanding of how you came to a certain point leading to a removal of shame, it is helpful in some way to getting to your getting to what you want. Because if you're gonna approach, I guess, because if you're gonna approach this like logically, like how do I logically beat this, the shame of it isn't helpful in that logic process.
Yeah,
at least in my opinion. But also my opinion. But also my opinion is bad because I'm addicted to a lot of stuff. But
no, yeah, I guess. I feel
so yeah, I don't know, man. What's your okay? Let me ask you this: what's your wife say? Like, how is she like? Yo, you gotta fucking stop doing this.
No, she doesn't really say much about it. I mean, I definitely talk to her about this stuff, and like, especially with my dad, because before I met her, I was just kind of dealing it with on my own because it's been going on for a while. I met her, and then after dating, and I think it was like right before we met my parents, like, oh, hey, by the way, my dad is a recovering alcoholic, just FYI.
Yeah.
And then I just it does help to talk to her about it, but I mean, she's very supportive, but like she doesn't really like. I don't know how to say this. She doesn't shame me for anything, because at the end of the day, I think I am. I could just be overthinking stuff. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I'm 25. I like to drink on the weekends and have fun. So like, maybe it is something that I'm overthinking and making it into something bigger than it's not. But I'd lie if I'd say I don't think about it.
Yeah. Well,
if that didn't make sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Well, I mean, Well, let's put it like this. At least you're thinking about it. Like, I don't know, when your dad was like drinking when you were a kid, do you think he was even thinking about it?
Definitely. Well, I don't know. That's definitely something that I haven't even thought about. But like, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you.
I think you'll be a good dad. At least you give a shit. That's the place to start.
Yeah, I try.
Okay, what am I do I have New Year's resolutions? They're all boring. You don't have any of them? You're just going to keep living your life?
Well, I guess, I got like, I don't know, it's the same thing that everybody says. I feel like I go to the gym pretty like frequently. That's the other thing I think I get from my dad is my dad's like huge into the gym, even whether he's drinking or not, he's always in the gym. It's something that I like to do. And I've got some like muscle on me, but like I'm trying to cut back and trying to like look skinnier. So I guess that is one, is lose weight, cut back. And I don't know if it's an addiction, but dude, that door dashing does not help.
What have you been door dashing?
Dude, I'll DoorDash anything. Like
what was the last thing you DoorDashed?
Popeyes, KFC,
Yeah.
McDonald's. It's so hard not to.
It's a lot of protein.
I'd say that's another addiction.
You got a lot of protein in there.
Yeah, a lot of protein and fried crap I don't need, but that could be another good New Year's resolution. Less DoorDashing.
Dude, I'm just gonna. I don't know why I'm just stealing something that someone else said on their podcast, but this guy Stavros Halkias said something on his podcast once about like getting to a fat guy logic where you start eating chicken tenders as a side of no. and the excuse being that it's protein. I was like, that's fucking. I was like, damn, I've never felt more seen in my life. Wyatt.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else you want to say or talk about before we go?
Nah, man. I definitely feel better talking about it, 'cause I haven't really talked to anybody about this, or but other than just thought about it to myself. So definitely appreciate it. Appreciate what you do.
For sure, man. Is there any other aspect of it you think we didn't cover?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, I love my old man. I think he's a good person at heart. He's never done anything evil, but there are some aspects that I see myself in him, or himself and him and myself, that I definitely don't want lingering around in the future. And I don't shame my father for anything. Like I said, at the end of the day, he's my awesome dude.
Wyatt, thanks for sharing, man. I appreciate it. This was a helpful conversation for me too.
Yep. Happy New Year's.
Bye, Wyatt. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's something we've talked about here before, but how do you not become your parents? And it's interesting. I'm blessed enough to have a lot of friends from childhood who I know them and I know their family, and every one of my fucking friends, I can pinpoint how they exist by thinking about their parents. Not every single one of them. Sometimes sometimes they're a black sheep. I actually know. I have a few friends where I'm like, I don't know how you became this. But I have a lot of friends where I'm like, I know exactly how you became this. Myself, I look at my parents, I'm like, I know exactly how I became what I am. It's hard. It's one of those things that makes you question free will. It really is one of those fucking things that makes you question free will. You're like, are we just doomed genetically to become our parents, or do we have some say? I think ultimately believing in free will is more empowering than believing in determinism. So I'm gonna go ahead and say we have free will to try not to become our parents.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
What's your name?
Abriel.
Okay, you had a shitty 2025. Should we start there, or should we start more positive?
Whatever, really.
All right.
So I got arrested earlier in the year, so that kind of put a damper on things, I would say, for sure.
Do you want to talk about what you were arrested for?
Yeah,
you don't have to.
Can. So essentially, I got pulled over in a pretty bad area, and I didn't know this at the time, but I have my medical card. I live in Florida, but I let it lapse by 2 weeks or something like that. So I got pulled over during that time, and I didn't know that carts were a felony, so I ended up getting a felony for resin possession, which that really sucked. And then 3 misdemeanors along the lines of the paraphernalia and stuff. So yeah, that was the whole thing.
So you have a so recreational marijuana is illegal in Florida, but you have a med card, but the med card expired, so they charged you for the carts.
Yeah, so like a dab pen. Yeah. So I had like it had my name on it and everything already, but because it had lapsed, it was still a felony because I didn't have like an active medical marijuana card.
That's fucking lame.
No, really lame, really lame. Initially, like, cause I didn't, and it didn't even like register to me that I had it in the car. Like, they asked me, they were like, "Do you have anything in there?" And like, they tried to search, and I told them no, so they got a dog. It was a whole fucking thing. But I was like, I think I only have like a quarter or something like that, because I completely didn't even register that was weed. Obviously, but yeah, they're like, okay, well, yeah, so yeah, but.
No, that's lame as fuck. It's so crazy to be in like legal states where it's like you don't it doesn't even like register that it's illegal. And then like, I mean, foreign countries is one thing, but like the fact that there are places in America where you can get like fucking arrested for just having a cart is insane. Like, so they put you in handcuffs.
Yeah, dude, like no, like they had me at the front of the car initially, and then they were like, okay, we'll put your hands behind your back, and then they read me my Miranda rights and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is like actually happening. And I think, yeah, I was 19 at the time, I think, when that happened. I don't think I was 18. So it was really scary, but they reassured me like on the way to the jail, because that was my only time getting in trouble. But they were like, girl, like, you should be good. Like, I just heard a story about somebody in our county who had, like, I don't even want to say it out loud, but, like, had did some really heinous shit to whatever, and he had gotten out on probation, and I was like, okay, well, that's great.
Did you have to, like, go to jail?
Yeah, no, like, I fully went to jail, yeah.
How long were you in jail for?
So I think it was on a Sunday. I was in for like 17 hours. I sat in booking. That was the worst fucking part. Honestly, jail was fine. Like, the girls were fine. But booking was like actual psychological torture. Like, I just sat there for 10 hours staring at a fucking wall. Couldn't even tell the time. And then there was one point, oh, this shit got me so bad. I was like, is it almost 7 o'clock yet? Or like 7 a.m., whatever, because that was the time that they said I was going to have my arraignment. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, really? And he was like, no. And I was like, are you fucking serious? So what would y'all have done if I hadn't said really? Like, okay, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
Bullshit.
So, okay, jail was, wait, the girls were fine. Like, you were chatting it up with the people in the jail. What was that like? Who would you meet?
So there was this one girl, she was a year younger than me, and she was in there for DTA. She was really cool. They helped me put, one of the girls fucked up their comb. Like, if you have like nose piercings or anything like that, you take a piece of the comb and you put it through your nose so it doesn't close. So they gave me one of those. They let me try crack powder or whatever it was, which is like basically fucking mint powder that you put in your drink, but you like put it on your chips and shit, and it tastes really good.
Wait, is it crack?
No, like, it doesn't have crack, but they called it that.
Okay, I was about to say 17 hours in jail is a little early to be, doing jail crack.
No, that actually would have been nuts. Yeah, I don't do none of that. But yeah, there's some older ladies. There was 2 younger ones. So it was me. I was on the top bunk. Then there was 2 girls who had their beds on just the floor. Those were the younger ones, and then there was like 3 other older ladies.
And you were there for one night?
Yes.
Damn. That's crazy they put you in there. So holding, you're just kind of staring at a wall, and then jail, you're like, it's like camp. It sounded kind of like summer camp.
Essentially, yeah, basically. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was just like knowing that freedom was not there was kind of surreal. Yeah. Like, actually, like, you're not a person anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not actually like summer camp at all.
I'm sorry?
So you said you didn't feel like a person.
Oh, yeah.
So when you got out, what happened after that?
I had to get a lawyer, so that was a whole thing. It was like $4,500. And essentially, I did go to court, and they gave me diversion, which was like a first time offender program. But I encountered like every single possible obstacle you could encounter in that program while I was in it, which is like kind of my own fault in a way. But I have like really bad anxiety. Like I'm sure you can hear. It's kind of crazy that I'm talking to you right now. I'm still shaking. Um, but yeah, I have really bad pee anxiety, so I ended up not being able to piss, and like that fucking sucked. So like, I
Oh
ended up
no.
adding on another. Yeah.
You were holding it in for the whole time?
Well, no, I meant like afterwards, like, because you have to do pee tests and stuff. Sorry, I should have said
Oh,
that in context. So my bad.
No, no, no.
Um, yeah, so you have to do like pee tests and shit like that, and that was not fun. So I ended up having to be in for like an extra 3 months on top of the year that they already wanted me in there.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm out now. Feel good. Free bird.
Wait, fuck, I'm sorry if I'm mishearing this first, but you were where for 3 months?
Oh, sorry. No, like they had me in the program for a year
Oh,
already. Like that was the time limit, and then
Yeah.
because I had fucked up with the testing and everything,
Yeah.
yeah, so they added on 3 extra months because of that, which fucking sucked. But
How are you doing now?
great. Actually, I just moved out of my dad's. I'm living at my nana's now, so that's been really cool. My parents got divorced like 2 years ago, and I've been living with him. But he just has not been the happiest camper since. Yeah, so finally got out of that situation. And I'm also 20, so yeah, it feels good to not be there, I guess.
You mentioned in this text to me that you said you found your childhood crush that you've been looking for online for 9 years. What does that mean?
Yes.
I'm curious.
Okay, so essentially, my dad was in the military growing up, and I got stationed. So one of the places we were when I was in 5th grade, it was Mayport, Jacksonville. And I had this best friend who, while the entire time I lived there, and we just got really close, whatever. So then we ended up moving, and he ended up moving too because his dad was also in the military. And he had no social media presence for the entirety of until he got out of high school. And I'd spent like at least twice a year looking him up on social media, which like I hadn't done that for any of the other people that I'd met over the years, like as consistently as I did with him. I don't know, it's just crazy. Like you just have a connection with somebody even when you're so little, not little, but like even when you're so young, and like it's you just know something's real, I guess. I don't know. Like I thought that was cool. So then I finally found him. And he joined the Navy too, and it was really freaking crazy because he's currently stationed in the same at the same base that we met at when we were kids.
Whoa!
And he's actually so he's here right now. Actually, like I'm in my hometown. He drove 3 hours, so that was really cool.
Whoa, interesting. So you guys met at this base that your dad was at, and then fucking years later he's stationed there now.
Yeah. No,
That's
like
crazy.
really crazy.
How did you find him?
Okay, so I knew his first and last name, and like when I tell you I'm a D1 stalker, like I'm actually a D1 stalker. So I went through every social media platform you could possibly go through, and I would look up people with his name, and I would message them basically like twice a year. I'd message a whole bunch of random people who had his name and hoped they were him.
Wow. That's actually pretty romantic.
Yeah, it's a lot of dedication for sure.
So, I have a lot of questions about this. How long had it been since you guys had connected with each other?
So I hadn't seen him since I was 10, and then reconnected when I was like 19. So 9 years. We hadn't spoken for 9 years.
Wow. And so, how long were you searching for him? You said like twice a year you would do this?
Yeah, like twice a year, something like that. Just see what's up.
How did it feel when you finally found him?
It was fucking crazy. It was nuts. Like, I was like, no fucking way. Like, this isn't real. And he had he remembered me, and that was also even crazier. Sorry, I had to burp. But I don't know. It's just like, honestly, it still feels really surreal. So we've been talking for like a year now. And we finally like made it official on the 6th. So that was all fucking nuts. Like, fucking nuts.
Wait, this is so romantic. This is like a beautiful story. I'm very invested. What was the first meeting like?
So, okay. So he drove down here from Jacksonville. Also, something to note, kind of, I have PTSD from getting arrested, so I just don't like driving long distances. So he came down here, and he had never been to the Busch Gardens in Tampa, or down here. So I was like, oh my god, like, we should go. So he drove down here, and I drove us to Busch Gardens, and it didn't start out like a date at all. I don't know. It wasn't awkward, but it was like, I could definitely tell that he was flirting with me. But he's also, okay, so he's like actually autistic, like clinically autistic. So he doesn't pick up on social cues very well. And like, I had already kind of pursued him a little bit previously, but it didn't seem like he was interested. So I just like completely laid the fuck off it. And I was like, just him being in my life is enough. So whatever. But by the end of it, like, I don't know, like, we laid in bed, like, because I got a hotel. So we got back from Busch Gardens, and he was flirting, and I was just kind of being standoffish. And we watched like 3 movies on his laptop, and he let me pick every movie. And then he fell asleep, and I literally sat there like smelling his breath for fucking an hour before I finally fell asleep. And then I woke up at like 5 a.m. or something, and like he was cuddling me, and it was just like, it was so fucking crazy. It was so crazy.
Wow. So it started out, okay, so that night when you were smelling his breath, he's cuddling you. The romantic interest was there from the second beginning.
Yes, I didn't want to come off that way because I wasn't sure if like that was just his personality, or if like I was reading things wrong, or yeah.
What was it about him that you remembered from when you were 10 that made you so dedicated to finding him?
It's really corny, but he just really is so like thoughtful. He was just so thoughtful and so observant, and his perspectives on the world, like, I'm also not trying to sound egotistical, but I feel like I was a much more sentient child than most. Like, my earliest memories go back to like 1.5, 2 years old, and he's kind of similar in that way, where he's like always been a more introspective thinker. And I don't know, like, I also don't know if you're like spiritual or whatever, but when like, just when you know, like when you meet somebody and you feel like your soul knows that person.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm also a little delusional. But...
Say again?
I said I might be a little delusional, but...
No, I don't think anything about this is delusional. This is like... I don't know, this is a beautiful story. I'm trying to think what else I want to know about it. Were you... okay, here's one. So you hadn't seen him since you guys were kids, right? Like, yeah. When you saw him, like, as an adult, were you like, instantly, like, attracted to him again, like, physically?
Yes. Yes, and that was another thing. I honestly wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, because was any part of you like, oh shit, he could have like grown up chopped?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it didn't even matter. Like, realistically, like, once I actually seen him, like, it really didn't matter. Even if he had grown up chopped, like, I still would like him anyway. It's just the person that he is, really.
Damn, that's so nice. Holy shit.
I don't know.
So no. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, so he lives 3 hours away at the base.
Yeah.
Where you guys met. And yeah, what's your guys' future looking like, you think?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, I feel like it's a little early, but within the next year or so, I mean, hopefully it would be not long distance anymore. Realistically, he doesn't live that far. But he was talking about, because he's been talking about whether or not he wants to re-enlist, because his contract is over in 2027, I think, so like literally next year. But if he gets orders to come down to Tampa or to stay in Jacksonville, then he will re-enlist. But if not, I don't know. But he was talking about me going up there when he gets an apartment, so I was like, I don't know. That's fucking crazy.
Wow. Man. So you really yeah, that's so wild. That's so wild. What do you do for like work and stuff? Like, what's your kind of like life situation?
It's pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when I got arrested, like, this is definitely an excuse, but it put like a hold on everything in my life. Like, I felt like once I had that over my head, like, I couldn't do anything else, basically. So I'm still working. I've been working at the same job for like 2 years. I work at an Italian restaurant as a host. So that's pretty chill, very fucking easy job, and I get hella hours because nobody knows how to work nowadays.
You should work as a fucking private investigator.
I really should. I've thought about that. I don't know about with the felony on my record, but maybe.
What's your name again? Aubrielle.
Aubrielle, yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story, Aubrielle. This was very interesting. I feel like this is one of those things where I'm like, wow, this is so fascinating and human to me, especially in a like you have like a fairy tale like drama movie romance going on in a world where everyone's just trying to, you know, not get ghosted from a dating app, you know? It's like, it's cool.
Yeah, I feel like I always kind of, I don't know, you can't not romanticize life, really. It gets really fucking depressing very quickly.
Yeah, you should romanticize life, every aspect of it. You know, waking up, opening a door, you know, just being, waiting in line at the thing.
Everything, like, life really is a fucking gift, and you should make the most of it. Just make the fucking most of it. Like, if you can do something, do it, really. What's the worst that could happen?
Aubrielle, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
No, that's it. Have a great night.
Thank you, Aubrielle. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Busch Gardens. I love Busch Gardens. I liked that story. Trying to think if there's anyone that I fell in love with when I was 10 that I could reach back out to via this podcast. There's not. I guess that's the thing about I remember my dad fucking telling me this once about Facebook. He's like, your generation will never understand like going no contact for like 50 fucking, not 50, but like, you know, 30, 20 years not seeing anyone. Yeah, this is a unique thing to our generation. Because like the older generation, they go like, you know, 20, 30 years without seeing anyone. And then on Facebook, all of a sudden, they reconnect. Whereas like our generation, it's like we've been, if I know you, if I met you at a party once or whatever, you might be in my life every day for the next 60 years of me looking at my phone. That's what we're bringing back in 2026. We're going to bring back mystery. We're going to bring back a rekindling missed connections. I don't want to... Let's do the opposite. If you meet someone at a party or the thing or whatever and you had a nice conversation, I don't like that even. I don't if I met you, I don't need you to be in my life forever. You know what I mean? Like if I meet you at like a random thing, we don't have to be in each other's lives forever via the internet. If I want to find you or you want to find me, you need to remember you need to go as hard as this lady did to find this person. Yeah, that's the funny thing too to me about this is that she didn't like try to find she messaged tons of people with this guy's name until one of them responded. That's fascinating. I hope this lady gets married and has whatever her life dream is with this guy, but I hope it all works out. It has to. I mean, that was so much fucking work. There's no way it doesn't work out.
Hello?
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Rachel. What's up?
Rachel, what's going on with you? How's life?
Oh, well, new year, trying to be a new me. Just, punching in, punching out. Went to the club last night, lost my apartment key.
Sometimes the things you lose at the club are the price you pay for the memories you made at the club, which doesn't necessarily mean that those memories were good. Sometimes losing your phone is the price you pay for the horrible memory of losing your phone. You know what I mean?
You're so right. You're so right. I mean, I did have a good time. I think it was worth it. I mean, I'm going to try to get another key on Monday, so we'll see how that goes. I just hope they don't charge me like $200.
Can I ask you about the thing you texted me about?
Yeah, sure.
So you texted me and you said, Can we discuss how it's almost an insult to be a fat chick these days? I've been thinking about it. Now, what do you mean by that? Because the way you phrased it, I'm curious.
Yeah, so I probably should have phrased it a little better. I guess what I'm kind of trying to say is, so I'm an overweight 22-year-old, and just the way I interact with people, even if it's not, usually being overweight comes down to attractiveness and somebody being attracted to you. But what I was thinking is the way people interact with me, it's almost like I've heard, insults left and right, big whoop, but just little interactions. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not so much how I say, what I say or how I say it, but just interactions are so different, especially like going to the club last night. I had like a really weird interaction and I was like, okay, I didn't do anything, but me being overweight kind of changed our entire, conversation. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, first of all, that all makes sense. What was the interaction?
Yeah, so I'm an extrovert. I'm single. I saw a guy, and I thought we were kind of exchanging glances because he was playing pool, and I was just sitting with my friend. And I thought we were exchanging glances, and I said, okay, I'm going to go talk to him. Why not? And I go up, and I say, hey, you look like you're having a fun time playing pool. Do you want to play with me next? Or something along those lines. I don't know. I had way too many rum and cokes. But he was like, he looked me, up and down, that like horrible mean girl up and down look, and said, now why would I want to play with you? Ooh. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's like a POV, the worst she can say is a no type of thing.
Yeah. Except I got the other end of it. And that's not the first time that kind of thing has happened. Mm-hmm. I usually go up and talk to people because it doesn't really seem to go the other way. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten that many times where it's just been like, okay, you don't really care about, just do, even if you're not interested in me. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But to kind of make it about something that I don't want to say I can't control, but something that I'm working on is a little strange to me.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to have this conversation because it's it's one I deal with as well. But this first is okay. Well, first of all, you're doing everything correct because you're being an extroverted person, willing to put yourself out there and talk to folks. So I have to imagine that yes, you have these interactions that sometimes don't go that well, but I have to imagine that just on pure numbers game, if you are constantly putting yourself out there, that you have had like success with that.
Yeah, I've definitely had some kind of success with that from time to time, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also like, is it maybe something else? Like, I know I'm a very straightforward, honest person. I know that may be like a big turn off. I say exactly what's on my mind. I gotta stop doing that. But, I'm 22. Like I said, I've only had two boyfriends, one for 4 months, one for 1 month. And I'm like, something's not adding up. I like to think, or at least from, feedback from, my friends and my family, oh, you're such a nice person. So what's not clicking?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, first of all, having the having two boyfriends, one for 4 months, that whatever you just described is normal. So I don't think you need to compare yourself to anything outside of yourself. You know what I mean? Like I don't your whatever metrics you feel like you have to achieve or stand up to. I think I mean, it's probably not good to compare yourself to any metrics, but if you were, you're doing great. If you are trying to metric yourself up, two boyfriends, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like comparing, I probably shouldn't compare, but I guess to my friends and like my family. My parents got married at my age. My brother's getting married, or he got married a year ago, when he was my age. So it's like, oh crap, I'm kind of falling behind.
Well, you're 22, brother. You're not falling behind if you're not getting married right now. Well, all right. So this is an interesting topic because I deal with it a lot. There's a lot of times I've been at a party or at a whatever, and I feel. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't want to project anything about my experience being overweight on yours, but I'll just talk about mine. It's I feel pretty. I feel like pretty uncomfortable in my body when I'm overweight, and I don't really feel confident, and I kind of know that it's like affecting the conversations and the interactions that I have, but and it bums me out sometimes, but it's the golden goose of it that's the wrong phrase, but whatever. The North Star of it in my mind is like, okay, well, it's something in my control, kind of.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, well, if I want to not, deal with this, it's like the uncomfortable reality. And I don't again, I don't want to, what is the word? Project anything about my experience onto yours. But in my experience, I'm like, well, fuck, people can say this and people can say that and people can say, oh, you'll find someone, like all this stuff. But in my head, I'm like, fuck, man, the reality is that I'm less attractive for me because I'm overweight and I don't like that. And I just want to like fucking deal with it, I don't know. What do you make of your experience? Like, how do you, cause I sometimes I'm like, I'm like, I don't know if the way I think about this stuff is healthy or if it's, what it is. So I'm curious what your, feelings are.
I mean, like, I think I know I shouldn't use, nasty comments as maybe a motivator, but, it kind of helps me. The reason I'm overweight, I probably shouldn't blame it, is just because I had like a horrible depressive episode for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take care of myself. And now I'm like reaping the consequences of my sewing. So, I'm just kind of taking it as like, should I change myself because of negative comments or because it'll make me feel better about myself? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people think of you, right? It just matters if you care about yourself. And I'm at like, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm like at a 70%. But I swear if I lost some weight, I'd be like 95%.
Yeah.
So, it comes down to, I would really like to get into a relationship again because although it doesn't sound like it, and, I come off as like, ooh, the strong, like fighting girl, deep down I am a lover. So it's just kind of like, do I have to really change myself in order to get that? It doesn't seem totally fair. I'm a firm believer that anybody on this planet can easily be an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, or shoot, even 10 out of 10. It all just depends on how you take care of yourself, what you do, the effort, So it's kind of that debacle of, should I change because of other people or because of myself? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. And okay, as of January 2026, this is, and I'm open to alternative whatever's on this, because I think about it. Here's what I think is true, at least for me. It's like, if you want to be in a relationship and you're overweight, you just have to be okay with being in a relationship with somebody who is as overweight as you, which which is, to me, the most fair thing ever. I mean, sometimes, to me, I'm like, I came to that realization, and I'm like, that is so fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, my type is all over the place, but my biggest thing is you can be, like, overweight or extremely underweight, but as long as you take care of yourself, that's really all that matters to me.
Sure.
Like, I know, especially for larger people, it takes a little more effort, just to, look a little better, smell a little better. So that's my biggest thing, is as long as you take care of yourself, I'm pretty open to almost, like, any body type, or really anybody, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with me, I'm like, when I think about this stuff, I'm like, okay, you can't, like, I think it's unfair if I were to ask for something out of somebody that I don't have, So it's like, well, if I'm not like, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But to the point of like, should you do this for yourself or should you do it because of mean comments? I mean, of course you should do it for yourself. And again, I'm just gonna keep talking. I'm not trying to project anything about my experience onto yours, but for me, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't like the way I feel when I'm fat. You seem like, I mean, for you, it's like you're naturally confident no matter what your body looks like. It sounds, which is like amazing.
Right.
So that's great. I envy that. I think that's great because I also think I know I said the thing before about like the ways in which being overweight restricts you. And I do think in the realm of like relationships and whatnot, like physical attractiveness is like the big thing or whatever, but like you can fucking go pretty far off of confidence,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's what kind of got my boyfriends or even like my friends is just going up to them and be like, okay, we're friends now. Like, just being like, what's up? Because actually that's how I met all of my friends, is me just yapping to them and they, I guess, liked it.
So can I ask you this? I mean, again, like, why do you think you are having problems like finding a boyfriend? Everything you've expressed to me so far, is making me wonder why you have problems.
I mean, maybe it comes down to I've heard that I come on too strong, or that I'm not cocky. What's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of a little strong-headed. So, like, I don't take any disrespect, regardless of, what size anybody is, they will still, sorry to be like a total crazy feminist here, but like, guys will just like go up and like touch you. And it's like, instead of being like, ha ha ha, like go away, I start like swinging. So it might come off as like, I'm the mean girl, in college, so my best friend's name is also Rachel as well, ironically. And our nicknames in college were she was the nice Rachel and I was the mean Rachel. So I'm thinking, maybe I just come on too strong, or maybe it's just how I dress, or I don't know. I have weird hobbies. Maybe people think I'm a crazy person because I'm a country girl. I dress in like flannel and jeans, and I look maybe a little scary.
Well, can I ask you this? I mean, everyone naturally attracts someone. Like and tell me if I'm wrong, but I have to assume that there are romantic prospects that are coming into your orbit, not only regardless of these things, but because of these things. There's a lot of people, for every personality, for every personality type that turns many people off, it attracts many people. The personality type that you're describing of being strong-willed and not taking shit, yeah, sure, might turn some people off, but for some people it might be exactly the kind of person they're looking for. Have people like that not entered your orbit in some way, shape, or form?
Well, I've been on lots and lots of dates, right?
Okay.
And usually, like, after the second one or after we talk for a while, it kind of, tapers off. Like, I literally just went on, like, 4 dates with a guy, and then we were talking, and then all of a sudden he ghosted me. And I was, like, reading back my messages. I'm like, did I say something? And it's hard to, like, ask your friends, did I say something wrong? Because they're always going to take your side. But it's like, what did I say? What did I do? Did I, like, what happened? Is he, like, scared that, my hobbies or something or, like, make him weird? I don't know. I'm always, like, insecure about, like, what I do because people are like, oh, you're a hick. But, I don't really care. But maybe some people aren't into that once they kind of find out about it.
Well,
or something is, like, intimidating, because one of the number one questions I get asked in the bar when people are, like, looking at me is, how do you have a giant scar on your arm? And I have to explain that I work at Barnes. That's pretty much all I do. And I get attacked by animals all the time. I got bit by a pig. I got kicked by a horse. That's how I broke my rib. I got thrown off by a horse. That's how I broke my tailbone. And maybe they're like, okay, creepy.
Well, it's fun. I think this is another fun, and actually even like whatever, taking like, this is another, taking like the whatever usual metrics of whatever is involved in dating. It's like, I think you admit to yourself that you're like a peculiar person of some kind. I don't know you very well. This isn't me saying this stuff. Like, if you kind of like, it seems like you've evaluated yourself and been like, I'm a peculiar person. I have this personality that maybe turns people off. I have these weird hobby. I have this, whatever. And it undeniably, I think, makes dating harder if you're like a kind of a peculiar individual, because it means that you need to find another very peculiar individual. And if you're on a dating app or you're going through life, by the very nature of what it means to be peculiar, most people are not. So the math is not exactly on your side with this one. But the good news is that, when peculiar people find each other, they form really deep and beautiful connections. And from what I know about you, it seems like you have zero shyness when it comes to flinging yourself into the world. So you have a lot of things that currently work for you, except patience.
Yeah, definitely. I think also, how people react to me. I don't want to, self-diagnose by any means, but I definitely think I have some anger issues where, not if somebody rejects me, I'm going to lose my mind, but if they say something that is maybe a little distasteful, I do get very defensive, and I'm like, what did you just say? Like, excuse me? Like, and my friend Rachel says I like turn my head like a psycho, like I'm about to attack them. But, you know, but that's just another part of like saying, I don't know if that's like an anger issue thing or just saying what's on my mind thing, or how I have literally no tolerance for any disrespect or anything like that. But, you know, maybe it's also just a sign of the times. You know, I know it's not just me who's struggling with being single or, you know, chronic loneliness. I know it's not just me. I know it's guys, girls, skinny people, large people, like it's everyone. So maybe it's just all of the stones put together is kind of conjuring into me not having any luck.
Well, also, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I think, you know, 4 dates only if you, like, you're, like, nothing about what you have told me so far about your experience dating seems like it is, particularly out of the normal. I mean, it's a difficult gambit. We can't all be like, that last lady.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, I was listening to that. I was like, oh, that's such a beautiful story. I was like, why is that happening?
Yeah, we can't all be like that last lady, which is a bummer because I feel like we were all, it's a bummer because we were all kind of grown up. I feel like being conditioned into thinking everything was going to end up for us like that last lady. You know what I mean? All the fucking movies and everything. I think I've said this on the podcast. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but like all those fucking Seth Rogen movies, like they give you a message where it's like if you're in high school, you're watching those movies, and the message of the movies is like, if you're fat in high school, it's like if you're fat and you're a little funny, you're gonna have a hot wife. That's the message. It's like convincing everyone that they're like endowed to have a hot wife, even if they're like fat and a little funny. It's weird.
I mean,
reality doesn't
compared to Melissa McCarthy a lot. So maybe, but I mean, I'm hoping that kind of falls together, but I don't know.
But that's the, you know, I guess I'll just reiterate what I said before, which is that I think if you're a little peculiar, the game's going to be more difficult for you. But
right,
I don't know. There's nothing more to do but continue to fling yourself out in the universe, hoping that you'll get lucky. And the good news is that the more you fling yourself out into the universe, the luckier you tend to get, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give up. I'm trying not to be discouraged. It's a little hard sometimes, but, you know, I still go out with my friends, you know, with my hobbies. You know, I do meet a lot of new people. So, you know, I'm still going to try. I'm taking a break from dating apps for a whole other reason. But, you know, I think it just comes down to I just got to keep trying, you know, and eventually it'll hopefully, you know, kind of fall together.
Rachel, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
Just everybody take care of yourselves, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
That was Rachel. This has been the Therapy Gecko podcast. I think this was a good episode. I enjoyed this. I feel like I could relate to a lot of the callers. I hope you guys could relate to the callers. I hope you enjoyed the conversations. This is the end of the podcast. I'm just going to rant I don't know if I have anything to say in this rant. This is the first episode of the new year. I think it went pretty well. I think that was classic Therapy Gecko affair. I don't know. I read all the comments. I'm a psychopath, so if you have anything to say something in the comments. Because sometimes I need to look at something, so I look at the comments on this Spotify page or YouTube or whatever. Or don't. Do whatever you want. Go to therapygeckotour.com. I'm going to go on tour this year. I'm excited to do that for the 4th time. I have more documentary-style videos that I'm going to work on that I'm excited about. That'll be good. I'm gonna try to be less overweight. I think that's a good idea. That was it. That was the podcast. We talked to the dad guy. We talked to the online boyfriend lady. We talked to the lady about dating. I felt like this was a good gambit of stories and calls. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having them. I hope you enjoyed listening to them. This is too long. We're keeping it in, but I'm not going to ramble like this at the end of the episode again, unless you guys want me to, or even if you do want me to. I'm still not going to do it. Okay, I should stop talking now and end the episode.